Bourbon, the only spirit that is truly American. The world of whiskey, however, can be a little complicated. So, what makes bourbon a bourbon? Well, to start, a bourbon whiskey needs to be distilled from a mixture of grains, or mash, that is at least 51% corn. This is what gives bourbon its distinctive sweet flavor. Second, a bourbon must be aged in a new charred oak barrel with no additives or colorings. And last but not least, a bourbon has to be bottled at a minimum of 80 proof.
Let's say someone has never tasted a bourbon before.
Sure.
How would you describe it?
So for someone who's entering into like the bourbon world and trying for the first time, I would highly recommend trying something a little bit lower proofed. Definitely a wheated mash bill possibly as you progress into different bourbons. But everything is personal taste. Some people like their bourbon on the rocks, some neat with a splash of water. I don't judge. You just have it how you like it.
That's actually such a great point, because what's the right way to drink a bourbon?
I drink everything cold in my life, my coffee, my beverages. So I usually do a really big ice cube at home with a bourbon. But if you want to try it, in its purest form, I would highly suggest, just in a Glencairn or a glass, just to try it in its unadulterated form, and then make your decision from there how you want to drink it. And it's incredible what even a drop of water can do to bourbon to change the flavor profile. Lend themselves to other countries, but bourbon is ours. Yeah. And so I think it's a really cool thing that we can all rally around. And there are so many different types of bourbon, different mash bills, that it's not like if you've had one, you've had them all. So people are always collecting them and sourcing them and trying to find different things.